Do you have the mindset for success? Or are you feeling frustrated in life or your career? Or stressed you can't find love or happiness? Hi, I'm Coach Riana Milne, and I can help you turn your pain into your purpose and passion by using my Mindset for Success system. Learn the Motivational Mindset for Success coaching system that has helped thousands of my clients over 40 years, and it can help you too. It's time to create the life you desire and to have the love you deserve.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Season 5 of Lessons in Life and Love podcast. I'm your host and global life and love coach, Riana Milne. I'm all about helping you transform your life in all areas into one that you're passionate about and to help you attract and have the love that you deserve. I'm on a mad mission to help change the way the world loves. So you'll learn how to have emotionally healthy, evolved, and conscious relationships and how to avoid toxic, painful ones that are definitely too prevalent today. It's time for you to have the life you desire and the love that you deserve. So if you have a personal concern, I invite you to reach out to meet with me for a life and love transformation discovery session. Just go to my website, rianamilne.com, where you can sign up for it on the home page. It's on a super special right now, so take advantage of that. Okay, let's dive in, love angels and transformers. Today I have a really special guest that's really fond to my heart. Her name is Jamie C, coming to me at age 31, trying to get over the childhood traumas that she went through as an only child and the years 2016 to 17 as a Diamond VIP client. I got to work with her for 6 months, and her main goal was to find someone emotionally healthy that she really wanted to choose to marry and have a family with. She couldn't find quality partners out there. It was very frustrating for her. She was a very successful business and just a great-hearted person, and she deserved not to settle. We had to dive deep into her childhood trauma issues, heal those, and she had to learn, which most of us never learn, what to look for in emotionally healthy, evolved, and conscious love. Today, Jamie wants to inspire you, our listeners, and tell you about her journey in finding great love, how you can improve your confidence in life, love, and career, and the importance of healing her past childhood and love trauma so that she could move on to meet her emotionally healthy, conscious, evolved, and fabulous partner. Welcome to the show, Jamie. Hey, Jamie, welcome to the show.
Hi, Riana.
Oh my gosh, it's so good to see you, girl. It's been so long since we got to work together and we had our little Skype relationship here.
Yeah.
And to celebrate your wonderful news, which I will let you tell our listeners. But why don't we start out with you telling them a little bit about yourself so they know who you are?
Sure. I'm Jamie. I'm 36, work as a VP of agency operations at a major insurance company. Also on the side, I have my own business for personal training and coaching where I do various things with nutrition as well as personal training on the side too. I have a new puppy named Bailey, who's about 6 months old now. She's a little handful, lab golden retriever mix, still doing Spartan races and staying in shape overall.
Yeah, we've kept in touch through Facebook. And I saw when you were doing your Spartan races, you were in the mud and you had lifting all this stuff. You looked amazing. And if somebody wanted to hire you as a personal coach, what area would that be in?
So I'm in Chicago.
Okay, Chicago area.
So in the Chicagoland area, I can design programs on the side also, but with like this Zoom and everything, the new era of things.
Hey, good. You did expand since I talked to you last. Okay, good. So we'll provide the listeners where they can reach you if they're interested in that.
Yeah.
But let's go back to the place and time when you were 31 and you showed up to talk to me. What was the reason you decided to take on a life, love, and mindset coach back then? Can you remember?
Yeah, I was just in a really bad place overall. I'd been through a pretty toxic relationship overall and didn't quite see it that way at the time, I guess.
Mm-hmm. How long was that relationship?
That was 3 years, I think. Yeah. Yeah.
And I remember when you were telling me who you are, I'm like, oh my God, you're running this major company as such a young woman. You're a homeowner. You've got it all together, girl.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, it's like,
Yeah.
we got to find you someone fantastic. And that was my goal for you, to make sure you had
So I was just
someone.
in a bad place overall, and was kind of doing those, series that you're a part of all the time. And I think you came up and we're talking about different traumas and things like that. And I was like, it kind of piqued my interest. And then we did the one-on-one.
The Life and Love Transformation Session, which is the first one. Yeah.
Yeah. And so we discovered a lot there. And I just kind of wanted to figure out how to set myself on the right path, I guess I should say.
Okay. So do you remember, was it a podcast you heard me on or a summit series?
I think it was a summit. Yeah.
A summit. Okay. So why, there's always a lot of experts. What was it that resonated with you? Did you really understand the tie between unhealed childhood trauma and that could be showing up in your selection of a partner at that time?
Yeah. So it was more so like those childhood traumas and those coming out in my relationships. And I wanted to do something different.
Yeah. Awesome. So what are some of the lessons that you learned, if you could share that with the audience, that you still stick with today? Could you name a few?
Yeah, there were quite a few. Meditation was a big one. And the 7s that you taught me.
The 7 Ds for success.
Yeah. Yep.
Isn't it amazing how they are in the forefront of your mind?
Mm-hmm.
They come up for me still. I learned that lesson at 16 years old. And for our listeners, if they haven't heard the 7 Ds for success, we can tell them what they are. They're originally the 5 Ds, but I had to add 2 to my dad's list because it just kept coming up for me. So now it's the 7 Ds. But the first one is to decide exactly what you want. And when you really put decision in your heart, you're laser focused on only doing that. So decision is a big one. Then the next one is desire it. You have to desire that as your top goal above everything else. You can't be wishy-washy about it. We set goals around it, our goal setting system, but that would be the second one. Determination, determination to reach the goal. And we know that it is a process. We say it's an A to Z process, and we don't expect results immediately. But with our goal setting system that Jamie learns is called the Mindset for Success, we do a certain system that we chop away at it. It's just the same as when I'm writing a book like Love Beyond Your Dreams, which was 400 pages. How was I going to go from, hey, I've got this idea to write this book on love to here it is, the #1 bestseller, 400 pages. And it could be looming and overwhelming if you look at the Z, the end result. So instead you wake up, what do I want to write about today? Right? What is it I'm going to do today? What feels most profound? What's my soul taking me to do? So that would be, the determination to stick with the goal each day. Then there's devotion, which is the spiritual faith, that belief in yourself that you can get this done. Nobody else may believe your idea. I can tell you so many times I got doubted, like opening up a model and talent agency in Erie. They laughed at me, Erie, PA. It is a small town and I'm a Philly girl, but I'm like, there's no commercial real people company here. I can make this go. Photographers are already asking me to model. They need more people. So I believed in it, but I didn't have one person believe in it, right? Within 6 months, it won Educational Excellence Award, then School of the Year within the year. And when I came out with childhood trauma, I even had a psychotherapist that's pretty well known to say, what is this? You're making it up? This thing doesn't exist. I said, it absolutely does exist. I've done 2 years of research on this. Nobody's talking about it. This is why I'm going to go global. I have to write the books. I got to write the notebooks, but absolutely people need to know this exists. And that was, again, my driving force, determination. Dare to dream big, as my dad said. Don't dream little dreams, dream what is it that you want and keep chopping away at it. And the last one is drive. Really, when things get tough, and they will, there'll always be challenges in life. Like we learned, we're supposed to be challenged in this earth school. So drive keeps you going even when the times are tough. And did I forget one, Jamie? Did I name them all? There's 7 of them. If you forget, they're in my Live Beyond Your Dreams book. But I think I named all 7. That's the mindset that you had. So the 7 Ds.
And then it was just visualizing like what I wanted more so in life and in a relationship and everything, and deciding what I wanted, and not necessarily like someone to take care of me, but somebody that was like a partner for me. And then the positivity and staying positive and correcting the negatives with the positives.
Okay, so let me explain that a little bit more to our listeners. So I want to go back to the visualization.
Sure.
Which is step 3 in our 4-step meditation process, which we call divine spiritual meditation. And all the science and quantum physics says 15 minutes of meditation lowers anxiety, depression, cortisol levels, which is your fight, flight, or freeze, and then lowers your blood pressure and increases dopamine and serotonin levels of the brain. In this meditation, there is a lot of law of attraction where we do visualize in step 3 exactly where we want our next step or our life to be. And it's like a little mini movie. And every time we meditate, we embellish that scene more and more and more. Part of this also, it's huge in gratitude, which is part 2, giving gratitude for what we do have in life, starting our morning out that way. And when you have gratitude for your life as it is, more and more happier things and blessings come to you. The science shows it gives you 8 to 9 hours of positive effect on the brain and the body. And again, for my clients, I'm healing normalized trauma response or emotional triggers. And this is part of working with the biology of the brain, the body, the nervous system to help calm trauma and trauma response. Did you find that, and we did vitamin therapy for you too, right?
Yeah.
Did you find that combination worked for you in calming some of the anxiety pretty quickly?
Yeah.
It's funny because my clients say, oh my God, Rihanna, it's only like 10 days in. I already feel so much better. You know, and I love that. We look at diet, we look at moderate exercise, except you're a champion. You're a superhero woman. We look at everything, mind, body, spirit, holistically to make you feel better. And then when you're feeling better, part 1 of the education is working on healing those traumas, really dissecting them, rewriting the story. And then what Jamie mentioned was one of her techniques she loves, which is correcting the negative thoughts. So I'll explain that a little bit. This is what we call capping and correcting. So when we grow up, we hear a lot of verbal messaging. Many of us did not hear a lot of compliments or the words, I love you. And I think Jamie and I are one of them. You know, we heard a lot of messages that were negative in our head. And when you might have that combined with trauma 7, which is personal trauma, which I had, you know, was bullying. I never felt pretty enough, right? So, but those 2 messages of not feeling good enough combined are always then talk in your head. This is what we call the unconscious kind of ruling your life. I also grew up with a lot of trauma 9, which is lack messages. There was 5 of us. I'm the 4th kid out of 5. And we always heard, no, we don't have enough money for that. Or no, you shouldn't ask for that. So I started working at age 11. So I had my own money to buy clothes that I felt nice in instead of my sister's hand-me-downs. So I wouldn't be teased for what I was wearing. That meant a lot. And that lack messages can stay with you too. So if you're looking to grow a business, they can get in your way. These messages come from all different directions. If you haven't seen the 10 childhood traumas, get my free ebook on riannamilne.com. It goes into them, or the 4 love tests. But you really want to know if this has occurred to you in your life. And when I was training you, Jamie, the research I did in 2012 said 90% of us had childhood trauma. Well, this year it is 100%. Due to the COVID pandemic, we're all experiencing that, which is called community trauma, trauma number 9, all shown to have, you know, traumas and fear-based, and all this fear mongering going on with this COVID is driving me up the friggin' wall. So it's super important that we do the mindset work and we take those negative messages. And part of that mindset is, I always say, what can I do? What can I do if we're locked down for 30 days? Oh, I can start a new business. Cool. I'll have extra time. You know, so what can you do? And when you stay in the positive track of what can you do, You're not looking at the fear-based negative thoughts, which we call the dark side.
Yep.
Yeah. When I meet people in the first session, I always say, trust me, what you learn here, you will use this the rest of your life.
Mm-hmm.
And do you find that it's very automatic for you now, the whole system?
Yeah, very much so. And even if like I get away from something, I'll come back to it later and I'll be like, oh, okay, well, I have to do this again.
Yeah, it's awesome because we call it a rainbow of growth,
Mm-hmm.
right? We start out where I was and you were, and every one of my clients is, I don't know what I don't know. So why am I bringing this negativity or this toxic people into my life? I don't know why.
Yep.
And that's where we're starting. And then you learn the lessons and you practice these skills, and it is practice over time and all the trauma work. It takes 6 months. So I keep working with my clients on these skills as they're going through their workbook, which is 150 pages, and their exercises. And there's always opportunity to correct. We do something called reparenting, which is that kind, loving voice we may not have heard growing up. So we have to be that for ourselves. And with practice and over time, your mind goes from unconscious awareness or norms to full conscious awareness. Yeah. And it is amazing how it works. And you will use this forever. And I love getting people young. I'm like, this is awesome because you'll use this forever.
Yep.
And I wish I knew it when I was a kid because, I would have chosen differently in a partner, right? I always love the work that I do, but things happen. I have my 2 amazing daughters and grandkids, so all is cool. From your past, we can't change it. We have to find the blessings from it, correct?
Yeah.
That's great that you shared those. And I'm glad they're so automatic to you. Science shows that most people have 8 out of 10 thoughts are negative in their heads. And that's unconscious awareness or unconscious thoughts. And usually when you use this mindset, it's very rare that a negative thought comes up once you get the system. Is that true for you?
Yeah, very true.
So that's awesome. Okay, good. Okay. It's so cool to talk to people on the other side of the rainbow where the pot of gold is, because that's truly how your life becomes. It's so exciting. Okay. So when it comes to love, share with us a bit about your journey and then how you met your fabulous guy, Chris. And then how did you know he was the one?
Chris and I actually met like 5 years ago. So I was coaching for a major company at that point in time, and both of us don't coach for them anymore. We were for a while there, and we met there. We coached our first class together and everything, and nothing really came of it. I think we were Facebook or Instagram friends or something from there, and kind of both went our own ways. And it was kind of during COVID, and when I had some time to kind of slow down, and I was forced to slow down in a way. I kind of realized that burning on empty right now, because I was working a full-time job and coaching at night. And so I was basically going from 5:30 in the morning until about 10 o'clock at night, at least 4 days a week. So COVID kind of like stopped it all. I couldn't coach at all. I couldn't go to the gym. I couldn't do a lot of things. And so I had to like stop and be like, what can I do right now? Going for a lot of walks and spending a lot of time meditating and just being with myself for that point in time. And during that whole process, like, I think my whole mindset like shifted all over again. I started my own coaching business during that time as well. And I kind of was nervous at the same time because I was helping people all along. I mean, I had a whole clientele from the gym, and it's just my personality to always want to help people. So I mean, regardless that they weren't able to go to the gym, I was giving them solutions, and we were working on nutrition and doing a whole bunch of stuff outside of it. So all of that happened, and you might have seen it on Facebook. It was right when things started to open up back in Chicago. So right around June of 2020. And I made a post on Facebook about basically like how COVID had changed me, and like for the better, since so many people were looking at COVID as so negatively, that I spun it and was like, no, like COVID has actually like helped me out quite a bit. Like I've changed a lot of things in my life. I've set certain boundaries. I've kind of done a lot of things that have helped me and will help me in the future.
Perfect. I mean, right there, I just want to say you took something bad. You found the good out of the bad. which is one of our lessons, right? It's a whole chapter in the book, finding the good from the bad. What can she do? You were always a hustler, Jamie. And we looked at boundaries and schedule and your dreams. And you always wanted to do this personal coaching. And grow beyond the gym. So even though you and I weren't really chatting, except liking each other's stuff on Facebook, you know, you went ahead and said, well, now I can do the coaching online. I can make this happen. Which is exactly where our heads are. Instead of like getting into victim mode or complaining, it's the what can I do? And you become proactive versus reactive. That is phenomenal. Then you reevaluate your life. You know, we do what's called balanced triangles. We can really hunker down and be very proactive in building a business. And I've been in that phase myself, and we know the time dedicated to that. But then after a while, it's like, okay, now, like you said, it's time for me to go out and date, or it's time for me to slow down here. I did what I want to do. Now I want to do something else. That's a perfect combination.
Yeah. So I made that post on Facebook, and Chris actually responded to it in an Instagram message. It was funny because he was like, I'm not sure if you remember me. And I was like, no, I remember you. And I had actually thought he was in a relationship, and he thought I was in a relationship. We just kind of started talking back and forth. He actually was like, I'm not sure how you feel about and how comfortable you are with like going out in public, because I'd love to grab a drink and catch up or something if you want to. I think we like exchanged numbers, and we went back and forth for like a couple of weeks with like just talking. And then I would get the good morning text every morning, and like I would get like all of these messages and things from him, and I was just having fun right now. Like, we'll see what happens.
There you go.
So we went out. Through our conversations, he declared that we were actually going on a date and not like just going out or hanging out. So he made that step first before we even went out. And we went out and we had a good time, but I didn't overcompensate with anything of it. I was kind of like, okay, well, it was a good time. We'll see.
Let me interject here, Jamie, because this is like so important what you're saying right now. And I love this. I've always taught so many people are petrified of dating. Right? They've come out of a horrible marriage or an abusive relationship. It's like, no, I don't want to know, man. Or no, so many women rip me off, you know, my guys that I work with, and they're just afraid and they just stop and they feel stuck. The real thing about dating is you're looking just for friends. And the whole way you started with Chris was we're friends, we're buddies, we talk together, and sure, let's get together and hang out. And that's a great word to use when you're starting as friends. There's no pressure. There's no asking for sex on the first or third date, or he's counting it. You're expect to sleep with a guy. If you get that on a date, you know he's not the one. The whole friendship gives you time to really get to know each other, trust each other's friends, hang out, have fun, laugh together. So your process was absolutely perfect. So I'm sorry, keep going, but I wanted to explain that to our listeners.
So we went out on that date and I kind of was just like, okay. And he texted me right away afterwards and we just kept talking. And then we went on a second date, and that date lasted 8 hours. Brewery first and had a couple of drinks. And then he was like, well, do you want to grab dinner too? And so then we went to dinner, and it was like a Sunday night and we were out until like 11 o'clock at night. And thinking about it now, I'm like, oh, that work the next day must have been fun, but time just kind of flew by. Yeah, I was just kind of that, and like conversation and everything was just very easy. And we were very...
It is easy when it's the right person. It's just easy. And they're like, become your best friend.
Yeah.
That is the feeling, which we call spiritually agape love, unconditional love. He's my friend. He's my buddy, you know, and there's no pressure there, which is fabulous. Okay.
Yeah. No, and we like throughout conversations and things like that, like we kind of figured out he's like the male version of me, and I'm like the version of him in a way. And we have differences obviously too, but the main like core things that I was looking for, and we went through that list of, you know, compatibilities and like what actual were like my non-negotiables and everything.
Yes, this Jamie's talking about part 1 of the course is healing your traumas, setting up your goal for the life you desire. Part 2 is getting the education, the psychology, the science, and really pinning down what do you want, which we call requirements, which are non-negotiables. wants, needs, desires. And we get it very crystal clear in your mind, which is part of the law of attraction. So when you see it, you know it. So go ahead. What were yours?
Basically, well, it's funny you say the law of attraction too, because Chris is actually very into the law of attraction. And
Oh, that's awesome.
we were talking about that. So that was one of the things we connected on. But like for me, it was obviously working out is a huge deal to me. It's very important for me to live a healthy life and be active and out and everything. So that was important. Loving dogs was important. I've been with people in the past that they said they like dogs and they didn't like dogs. So
Okay.
that was a big thing. Actually, like wanting, get married, have a family. And then the whole like being financially stable, but also like emotionally available.
Yes.
Those were all like major factors to me.
Awesome. They're really great requirements. I remember setting them up, and it's funny, on the list, it's important to you. Like you said, he must like dogs, right?
Yeah.
And when people say, oh, really? Is that a quality? But yes, because it's so important to you.
Yeah.
Right. And of course, health and wellness, that's really who you are and what your lifestyle is all about. So that was important. And you've been through the toxic guy where he was not up to your financial standards. He was not your financial match, period.
No.
And some women, when they still have these traumas, they settle for less, or they date down just to have a boyfriend. And all my people know, look, it's a numbers game. You're going to have to date a lot of people, but you know exactly what you're looking for, so that when you find that, you're going to know. And the questioning in the early beginning stages, like for my millennials and my younger people, one of those first dates or two, you're going to have to ask, are you a man that sees yourself as wanting marriage and a family?
Mm-hmm.
Did you ask early on?
I think that came up really early on. He was the one that was like, I don't know if this is okay to like, we talk about this yet or anything. And I was like, I'm an open book, like whatever.
Good.
What our relationship was at that point. Everything was on the table.
Beautiful.
Like, we were very open, and regardless that sometimes it might have been things that like either one of us didn't necessarily want to hear, because we were that open, like we established a different level of trust that like, I don't think I've ever had before. So
that's great. And you mentioned he's spiritual.
Yes.
So the research has shown everyone that, I have all this in part 4 of Love Beyond Your Dreams, and Jamie's read that book, but it's really important that one of the top qualities of a long lasting and loving agape love and passion love, like you've got your best friend, is someone that shares spirituality with you.
Yeah.
So it doesn't mean religion, and it doesn't mean you have to go to church every week. It's who you are 24/7. A spiritual person is very high in character qualities. They don't want to lie. They would never cheat. It's all what's good for the team approach, what's for the best of us. And if there's a disagreement, it's like, it's okay, babe, we disagree on that one. That's fine. And you don't beat each other up, it's just because there's that respect that he can be his own person, and I'm my own person, but we still love each other. Right? That spirituality was on your list, and I'm so proud of you for hanging in there. Sometimes finding that spiritual man is a needle in the haystack.
Yeah, it is.
I said to all my single men that I work with, can I clone you and make like 1,000 of you? Because my ladies need men just like you.
Yeah, that was a really good thing too. And I think the respect factor was in there, and that goes twofold. We've said it multiple times of I can't do that, or I can't treat you that way because you're not gonna respond well to that. So we kind of have this like level of respect with each other.
Yeah. You think the conscious living, that what we always aim for is called an emotionally healthy, conscious, evolved relationship. So breaking that down for our listeners, emotionally healthy means great mood management. You can communicate with an open heart, open mind. You're not a yeller, screamer. You don't say vile words that will stay with your partner forever. So emotionally healthy, right? Evolved is a spiritual world. It means being your highest and your best self. So we're always thinking, is this good for all? Like not only me, or not just my partner, for us as a team, and it doesn't hurt anybody else, right? So evolved. Conscious means we think before we do, say, write, text anything, even, and my people aren't emotionally triggered anymore, but people before they come to see me, they get a bad text and they zip out something and it's like, oh, maybe I shouldn't have said that, but they did.
Yep.
So we don't do those things.
No.
We think before we act. So when
Yep.
there's two partners who are doing the same thing, it makes such an incredible relationship. Like my people that I'm thinking of Karen in New Jersey and Raj, who've been married since 2006. And all these couples who came together early on in my career and they were learning these skills are still happily married.
Yeah.
They're still each other's best friends. You see their posts on Facebook, still loving and kind and celebrating each other's wins. I mean, that's love, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah. And I was so happy that you're here to explain it, because I can say it till I'm blue in the face, but it's so good for you to explain the differences, what you had before.
Yeah.
And the wonderful things, the traits and the qualities that Chris has.
Yeah.
So how did you know the love was there? Did he say it first or did you?
He said it first.
Yeah, good girl.
And I
Okay.
actually stopped and I didn't say it at first. I told him why. I was just like, well, the biggest thing to me was that I didn't want it to just be a response.
Yeah.
Oh, and it was expected. And so I said that, like, when I say those words, they're going to be when I truly mean it, and when it's going to be the same way. Like, you're not going to expect me to say that, because I want you to feel the same way I do right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he said it first. I mean, he was funny too. I mean, even us officially dating and everything, he was my girlfriend. I was like, okay.
And that's the right way. I know it sounds traditional, but I tell my ladies, let the men take the lead. Let the men say, I love you first. For the women that is like, well, how do you start telling someone you love them? Start saying, oh, I love that outfit on you. Or, oh my gosh, you bring me flowers. I love when you do that. The word love, if you didn't hear it much as a child, could be awkward for some people, right? But when you start really seeing these sweet little niceties that your new partner does, it's easy to say, I love that about you, or I love your jokes. You're such a riot. You know, just saying the word and learning to be comfortable with it. And then it becomes easier to say, man, I love you. You're amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was very easy overall.
So tell us the next part, the part that I know about.
Oh, we're engaged.
Yay. Yeah, I saw that on my Facebook. Actually, I was at a speech competition and I'm going through my phone. I'm like, yay. And the girl next to me is like, oh my God, one of my grads is engaged. She's so adorable. I'm so happy for her, because I'm like, here's this amazing woman, successful, smart, hardworking, go-getter, you know, just the perfect package. And I just love my people to have someone like that back.
Yeah.
So hopefully one day I'll meet your sweetheart, but I just want you to know, right in the middle of the class, I was like, super excited for you.
Yeah.
So what are your marriage plans? Do you guys have anything solid yet?
We had talked about it prior to getting engaged and everything. He's got some friends that are overseas and things like that, because we talked about it and we want them to get back first and everything. So probably fall of next year or spring of 23, just depending. Get married before then and just do a celebration later.
As an officiant since 1997, I have married a lot of military people.
Yeah.
And they have asked me, you know, Reverend Riana, can we just do a small ceremony, the two of us and two people standing up for us at the beach or at our home, because he was going overseas or whatever. This is very common. And now this is back. This trend is really back in the time of COVID, that people just really want the bond and the tie and the love connection, the marriage license. And then they'll have the party later when they can have more people or at the place that they really want it. Post-COVID. So, so that's very common today.
Yeah. We're focusing on potentially buying a house, and we're probably going to build a house and having kids and everything. So
beautiful. And you both want kids. That's so good, Jane. That's beautiful. Okay. So what advice, in wrapping this up, would you like to leave with our listeners who might feel stuck in either life, love, careers, or just feeling miserable because of the whole COVID thing? So fear and negative based in their thoughts, that it's impacting their bodies and making them feel stuck in all areas of life. What advice can you give them?
I guess the biggest thing for me was sometimes you just kind of have to take a step back from things. You might feel like, okay, well, I have nothing to do, and like my entire life's been turned upside down. Like that actually allowed me to see things a lot more clearly and what I wanted and kind of refocus my goals and everything on and where I wanted to be. Surrendering to outcomes throughout Chris and I never really allowed myself to be like, oh yeah, like we're getting married and this and like he checks all these boxes or anything. Like I just kept surrendering to it and was like, okay, whatever happens, happens.
Enjoy just hanging out.
Yeah. And I just had fun with it for a while. I didn't really like lean on every little word he said or anything like that. I just kind of let things go. Just that when the open communication, regardless of some things you do or do not want to hear or whatnot, that was huge just because, I mean, we've talked about it several times. If me and him didn't tell each other certain things in the beginning of our relationship, we don't know if we would be together right now.
Right.
Because like we established that trust and everything. So just having that. And then the visualization and everything with the meditation and the morning routine and everything kind of really helped me as well. And I go back to that quite a bit.
Good. Awesome. Yeah. I love the advice, just date as friends, keep it light, keep it easy, just go out, have fun. Don't keep saying in your head, is he the one, and building this pattern, like just chill. When it comes to dating, just have fun. I mean, he could have been ending up just as a lifelong friend and buddy. Right. Or, like it happened for you guys, you fell in love and you're still great friends and buddies. Right. So that's the ideal. Really, really proud of you remembering. And like I said, it's not like you have to recall in your head when you're done with training. This is the automatic mindset that you have.
Yeah.
It just becomes so easy. It's just part of who you are. And when you look back at the person you were prior to coaching, it's like that's so much growth, right?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So like I said, my heart just explodes with happiness for you, sweetie. I think of you almost like one of my daughters, right? I get so close to my clients and I want to see you succeed. Thank you for coming on and sharing your story of motivation and inspiration and how it worked out for you. So our other singles of all ages know, yes, love is out there. Yes, nice people are out there, men and women. From an LGBTQ crowd, same for you. There's great partners out there for you. The thing is, don't settle and get the mindset that you need to learn so that you're strong, you know exactly what you want, you're confident, and you have more joy and fun about life. You take it easier. And when hardship or challenges come, which it will, whether it's our fault or a COVID-like thing, which is not our fault, we still know how to work with that and take the good from the bad and keep on growing.
Yeah.
So you are a fabulous example of this. And I wish you a lot of love and luck. And like I said, I hope to meet your man one day. Send me a wedding invitation, sweetie. I'll try and get up there. God bless. And for everyone else, now is the time to create the life you desire and to have the love you deserve.
Bye.
Okay, love angels and transformers. That's all we have time for today. I really want to thank my special guest, Jamie. She's like my own daughter, one of my graduates who is so happily engaged today from all the lessons she learned in the Dating to Mating program for singles. Thank you, Jamie, for inspiring other singles out there that indeed you can have the love that you deserve. To our listeners, we appreciate you sharing the show link and being an inspiration to other singles, as well as sharing the mission of changing the way the world loves. Please take a moment to subscribe to the show, give it a 5-star rating and a thumbs up, and leave a comment on what you learned or liked about this particular show. In your comments, you can also leave a post as far as what topics you'd like me to address in a future show. You can listen to all the shows on my website, lessonsinlifeandlove.com, or on my YouTube channel, Riana Milne, where there's over 250 audios and videos for educational purposes. Remember, you can reach out for help at any time during the week at my website, rianamilne.com. Use the contact me page. Tell me about your struggles and what's happening, and then sign up for your Life and Love Transformation Discovery Session. While you're there, please make sure you get the free ebook on how to have the love you deserve right on the homepage, and also take the 4 free love tests. You can also download the first 60 pages for free of my #1 bestseller, Love Beyond Your Dreams, Break Free of Toxic Relationships to Have the Love You Deserve, and Live Beyond Your Dreams, about the mindset for success, where you can go from fears and doubts to personal power, purpose, and success. And as always, I am here to help you to create the life you desire and to have the love you deserve. I wish you a very fabulous and blessed week.
Do you feel like you have tried everything? Self-help books, therapy, relationship summits, retreats, online courses, podcasts. But you still struggle with toxic love, attracting narcissistic partners, ongoing anxiety, depression, codependency, love addiction, stress, moodiness, lack of hope, feeling stuck in your career, and you just can't seem to get love right. It's time to heal your unconscious behavioral patterns caused by unhealed childhood trauma. I'm Riana Milne, the love trauma recovery expert and certified life and love coach who helps thousands around the world, and I can help you too. I specialize in helping adults heal from unconscious childhood and love relationship traumas, emotional triggers, and dysfunctional behavioral patterns, which have been impacting them negatively in life, love, or business, to transform and create the life they desire and to have the love they deserve. Talk to me today at rianamilne.com and get the free ebook below to learn more.